At first, it looked like trash, a pile of gear left on a cliff edge. Rope, a torn jacket, a cracked headlamp, all placed too neatly to be an accident. Jasper stopped, listened. No voices, no footsteps, just wind rolling up the rock face and disappearing into the trees below. The spot felt wrong. If someone dropped their pack, it would slide. If a storm tore it loose, it would scatter. But this looked staged, like someone had put it down and never came back. He stepped closer. The backpack was the cleanest item there. Not new, just less destroyed than the rest. Jasper crouched beside it, careful not to shift his weight near the edge. He expected the normal things: water bottle, snacks, a map, a cheap knife. He unzipped it and froze. Not because of blood, not because of anything obvious, because the inside wasn't hiking gear. It was organized. Plastic pouches, small sealed containers, a folded tarp, a roll of thin wire, and on top a note, written fast, hard pressure, like the pen was shaking. Jasper's eyes moved across the lines. His throat tightened. The note didn't read like a warning sign people put on trails. It read like a message someone wrote for one person and then ran out of time. Don't go down. It's out. It's not a dog. It's been quiet. Jasper reread it once, hoping he misunderstood. Then another line. If you hear it, don't look for it. The wind hit the cliff again and the trees below moved like a single dark wave. Jasper felt the sudden stupid urge to laugh, a note in a backpack, but his hands didn't feel like laughing. They felt cold. He forced himself to keep checking the pack, like evidence would make it make sense. There was a small metal tag clipped to one pouch. No name, just a number written with marker. Another pouch had a faint chemical smell, and wedged in the side pocket a disposable phone. Dead battery. Jasper looked around again. Still nobody. Then he heard something from the woods below. Not a voice. A low, like air being pulled through something narrow. He waited. Silence. Then it came again. Closer, this time. Jasper's brain tried to label it fox, deer, bird, but it didn't match any of them. It sounded wrong. Like something practicing a sound it didn't fully know. He stepped back from the cliff edge, and that's when he noticed the second detail, the rope. It wasn't just a random coil. One end was tied around a rock anchor. Someone had climbed down. And whoever left this backpack left it here on purpose. A marker, a warning, or bait. Jasper's eyes flicked between the rope and the trees below. He didn't move toward the edge. Not yet. He backed away slowly, pack still open in his hands. Another sound rose from the woods, a scrape, then a soft thump. Jasper didn't shout, didn't run, not immediately. He took one more look at the note. The ink had bled in one spot, and under the last line, one final sentence was half written, unfinished. It doesn't. That was it, no end. Just a thought that never got completed. Jasper closed the backpack and set it down exactly where he found it. He turned away from the cliff, and finally, he ran. Not toward the trailhead, toward higher ground. Because the sounds weren't coming from behind him anymore. They were coming from below, and whatever was down there was moving like it already knew he'd seen the bag. Jasper didn't stop running until the cliff line curved and the trees thinned. Only then did he look back. Nothing. No movement on the ridge, no figure in the brush. Just the forest breathing normally again, like it hadn't made a sound at all. That was what scared him most, because real animals don't turn off. They don't go silent on command. He forced his hands to work, pulled his phone out, and called emergency services. The operator asked the normal questions. Location. Nearest trail marker. Jasper answered, still watching the tree line below. Then he said the party hated. The note says a creature escaped. There was a pause. Not panic, a different kind of pause. Like the operator had heard strange calls before and knew exactly how to keep a voice calm. Stay where you are. Do not go back. Do not approach the area. Sirens wouldn't reach here fast, but they could move people. Within an hour, the trailhead was shut down. Signs went up. Rangers pushed hikers out in small groups, telling them it was a safety situation. No details, because details attract the wrong kind of attention. A search team arrived with trained trackers, wildlife officers, and local police. They didn't joke. They didn't argue with Jasper's story. They asked for one thing only. Show us exactly where you found it. Jasper led them back from a distance, stopping before the cliff. The gear was still there, the backpack untouched, the rope still anchored. That detail made the team move differently, slower, more careful. A wildlife officer crouched over the open pack and read the note. He didn't react outwardly, but his jaw tightened. Then he pulled a radio closer to his mouth and spoke quietly. Secure perimeter, no civilians. The team didn't send anyone down immediately. They backed up first, set a perimeter, moved hikers off side trails. Then they brought out thermal scopes. At dusk, the forest should have been full of heat signatures, small animals, birds, rabbits, deer, but one section below the cliff was strangely empty. A pocket of coal, like the woods there were avoiding something. And then, just once, a heat shape flickered on the screen. Large, low to the ground. Not a bear, not a deer. It moved in a straight line, stopped, then moved again, almost like it was tracking. The operator adjusted the scope. The shape vanished behind thick brush. A radio crackled. One of the trackers called out, "Found disturbance! Dragline! Something heavy!" Jasper's stomach dropped. He wasn't imagining it. Something had happened here. Hours passed, no clean answers. "No, we found it." And Jasper kept waiting for the moment someone would confirm the note was real. But near midnight, the command officer walked back up to Jasper and said, carefully, "We're treating it as credible, for now." Then he added something worse. The backpack doesn't belong to any registered hiker. No ID, no missing person report. By morning they found more. Scratches on tree bark, broken branches. That was the moment Jasper realized this wasn't about a creature. Not really, because a creature doesn't write notes. A person does. The operation changed shape immediately. It was no longer a wildlife scare. It was a human threat. They pulled Jasper away, took a formal statement, and told him not to speak to anyone. Not friends, not social media, not even other hikers. Then they did what teams do when they don't want rumors to spread. They called it a false alarm. Officially, no threat, no danger. Area reopened later with maintenance work completed. But Jasper saw what happened before the story got cleaned up. He saw how fast they locked down the trail, how they searched without hesitation, how they avoided certain areas like they expected something to be waiting. And he saw one last detail. When the team finally retrieved the backpack, the wildlife officer didn't treat it like trash. He treated it like evidence. And when Jasper asked quietly, "What was it?" the officer didn't answer directly. He only said, "You did the right thing by running." Years passed. Jasper returned to hiking. But not there, not that ridge, because he never stopped thinking about the unfinished line on the first note. It doesn't. It didn't what? Didn't fear people? Didn't make sound like normal animals? Didn't leave tracks? The scariest part wasn't that he might have found a dangerous creature. It was that the false alarm came from a note written by someone who was still close enough to leave a second message overnight. And if Jasper hadn't looked inside that backpack, he would have walked straight down into the quietest part of the woods, and no one would have known where he went.